And we are live. Game's just finished in Durban. South Africa, what a win. 67 points to 30. Incredible. Someone's already joined. Welcome. Whoever you are, tell me who you are. What a game that was. That was one of the most bizarre games of rugby that I think I've ever seen in my life. It was really, really crazy for lots of different reasons. But 9 tries. 9 tries to 3, South Africa. I don't know how many teams play South Africa in South Africa and score 30 points against them and don't win. That would be like a stat I'd like to know when the last time someone did that. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the chat. Let me know who's here, who's dialing in. Bloody hell, that was ruthless. Yes, Sam, it was. They should have an extra point system, I think. Instead of bonus points, they should give nuclear points. Games like that. Absolutely incredible. There's no stopping this South African team. 67 points against Argentina, 43 points against the All Blacks, and the juggernaut just continues. And there's got to be some scary coaches around World Rugby at the moment looking at this. G'day, Brian. Welcome in. Greetings, Mark. Well done, Bocker. 100. Yes, yes. I remember we used to play like this. We did, Sam. That's true, mate. I was just thinking the same thing, Sam. I thought I was sitting there watching the All Blacks in 2011 playing. Yep. But times have changed. David Rosenberg. Hello, Mark. What can I say? Annihilation. Truly, it was. Yep. In the second half, it was a very chaotic, bizarre first half, but just like they did in Wellington, the Springboks put the pedal to the metal and went away with it. Just an audio check. Can everybody hear me okay in the chat? Can you let me know, please? Wayne. G'day, Wayne. Welcome to the chat. Awesome box, says Wayne. Yes. Box must stay humble. Yeah, that's a good point. Good point, Wayne. Thank you for making it. Something you can lose, something the Springboks fans can learn from the All Black fans is how important that humbleness is when you're winning so dominantly, and the All Black fans weren't very good at that. So that's something the Springboks fans can learn, I think. David Rosenberg, there's not one player I can fault. What a message. Yep. Brian, loud and clear. Thank you for letting me know the audio is okay. We've got plenty of people joining the stream now. Let me know where you're from, what you thought of the game. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Oops, I think my camera's gone a bit. There we are. That's better. So, yeah, lots to talk about in this game, I think. And I just wanted to start off and say that how many international teams are able to score 30 points against the Springboks in South Africa and not win the game? So well done to Argentina for at least scoring 30 points. The All Blacks couldn't do that last year in 2 games, could they? Sam, Sasha Fineberg and Ngomazula is the new Dan Carter. He might be better than Dan Carter in years to come on that performance. Box came with gifts, the Surzone said. Yes, absolutely. Rise of the Remnant, Sasha Fineberg and Ngomazulu. What was it today? 35 points, 37 points. So Sasha beating Percy Montgomery's record of points in a game for the Springboks. Outstanding performance. 3 tries. I think he had more running meters than the entire Argentine put together. Actually, he beat them by himself, didn't he? He scored 33 points to Argentina's 30. So Sasha beat them by himself. Joshua, hello, Mark. What can I say? Proudly South African. Joshua, another good reason to be proud today, no doubt about it. 43 points against the All Blacks last time out. 67 points against Argentina this time out. The juggernaut is right. Nolan, Mark, I told you yesterday we're going to whip the Pumas. Nolan, hindsight's a wonderful thing, my friend, isn't it? Half time you weren't saying that, I guarantee it. But another great second half performance. Petrus van der Merwe, fabulous Bok, great live, Mr. Kiwi, love your objectivity. Well, it's all about rugby. And I tell you what, that first half was just so chaotic, bizarre. I don't think I've seen a game like I did in that first 45 minutes, because that's how long the first half took. In my entire lifetime of watching international rugby, I just hadn't seen it. That Colby drop out from the line, Chocobara scoring that try, the penalty try, everything else that was going on in the field and off the field. It was bizarre, absolutely bizarre. But the drop goal try was a joke. Well, it wasn't. It was a real fair dinkum thing. It was just, we've never seen it before, I guess, Sam. But to the letter of the law, he was right. Colby kicked it. Choco Barras caught it. He was not within 5 meters of the kicker. He scored a try. That's called innovation. Razor would call that innovation. Hey, Bossy, great going, Mark. Thank you. What a brilliant game. Well done to all the South Africans. My Boks know how to play for 80 minutes. Well, I don't know about that. I'm going to be a little bit critical of their first half if I have to, but I think once Malcolm Marx went off for the yellow card, I think the Boks kind of turned into different beasts, and we saw what we saw in Wellington, didn't we, in the second half? That's what it came down to. But I thought the Boks were pretty terrible for the first 20 minutes, to be honest. If I'm going to be objective, I'm going to say it. I thought both teams were – I thought I was watching the All Blacks play the Wallabies again there for a minute in the first half. But then as it started to open up, well, yeah, it turned into a different game. But it was a game of two different stages, I think. And half-time, it was also lucky because it was a long first half, wasn't it? Quizzy, most insane rugby game of all time. Yeah, I agree. I don't think I've seen anything like it in my life. So let me know. Let me know if you have. I don't know if anybody else has seen a game like that in that first half. Donovan, I told you this morning that Jasper Wiese is possibly the best 8 in the world. Yeah, he had another great game, didn't he? Jasper Wiese took those high balls off the kickoff returns very well indeed. Very well indeed. Sakabula, welcome to the chat. Rules are rules. Yeah, they are. You've got to play to the rules, right? And I think it was smart for Argentina to get that try and go for it, because they knew what they were doing, right? And to be aware of it, playing consciously, that's what the game's all about. South Africa does it all the time with all sorts of little innovations. So it was good to see Argentina having their moment there. TMO was irritating. Yeah, okay. What a game. Did not expect that from Peter Brits. Adele, I am a very happy chappy. Good on you. Well done. Congratulations. 67 points against an Argentinian team that was decimated with injuries again. Garcia Albinos is injured again. This is going to be a terrible roll call for Argentina to go to London next weekend. So the Boks are going to be rubbing their hands together. Nico, Els is back, and I know that you're not Ernie Els' cousin. I think that's the last time Colby will kick past in his own goal area. I think so as well. I think Colby will not do that again in a hurry. But what a fantastic make-up for it, though, Nico, wasn't it, when he scored the try off Sasha's beautiful kick? I don't know how often Sasha practices those crossfield kicks, but he put that on a dime, on an absolute dime. Chasers AI, an absolutely dominant performance by the Springboks. Gutted as an Argentinian, but that was a masterclass. Utterly respect Bokkers. Yes, Chasers AI, very good. Nice comment from you acknowledging the win from the Springboks. But I tell you what, Chasers AI, just think about it. Your team scored 30 points against the Springboks in South Africa. Not many teams can do that. My team didn't do that last year in 2 games. So you've got to take a little bit away from that. I know it's a big defeat, but you've got to take something away from it. One Pierre Bosch, thank you, Mark, for your constant love for the game and so natural. I'm just going to be myself, my friends. So I can't be anybody else. So that's what you're going to get. And thank you very much for tuning into the chat. Patrick Mulligan says, Paddy, a South African, watched the game from here in Portugal. Well done, Box. The team did great. They did do great. Yes, it was very entertaining, and it's great to see the Tony Ball philosophy coming true for the Springboks. And I can now say, because I was holding back in saying this, that we're seeing some consistency with Tony Ball. 2 games in a row now, 43 points against the All Blacks, 67 points against the Argentinian Los Pumas. And they're on a roll. So I want to see this continue now. And then we can all start talking about dominance if you're a Springbok fan. Someone says Reinach had a shocker of a game. Did he? Who else thought Gobus Reinach had a bad game today? I thought he was okay. Elmar, welcome to the chat. What a game. Yes, wasn't it fantastic in the second half? All that chaos in the first half. The crowd was very quiet when the Argentines were coming back. The super sport commentators were very humble when the Argentinians are coming back and blaming everything on the South African errors. I tell you what, we've got to sort out these commentaries around the world. It's just shocking, some of these TV commentators, right? Whether it be Australians or New Zealanders or South Africans, it's just, we've got to get some neutral commentators into the game, my friends. There's too much of this one-sidedness on every team. Penny Timms, Eric, g'day Eric. I couldn't watch the match. Who was the man of the match? Well, I think it'd be probably a guy called Sasha Fineberg and Gomazulu was the man of the match after scoring 37 points. Eric, by himself. Leo, hi Mark, what's your thoughts on Sasha's performance? Brilliant. I've always been a fan of Sasha, and if you watch my videos from the last couple of years, you'll know that I've said that he just needs some consistency, and I think we saw his true breakout performance today. So this is going to give him a lot of confidence, but it's also going to give Russie a lot of confidence in Sasha, because I think he did exactly what the Springboks needed today. He chose his moments. He saw the opportunities. I love the way that he read the game today. What was really good about Sasha, I thought, was when he got the ball deep in the South African half and he looked up, he could read what was going on. He decided to do the crossfield kick to Colby on a couple of occasions, or for Kanan Moody, or for himself when he chased through and scored the try. That's good game management. That's understanding what's going on in the game, and that's something that I hadn't seen a lot of from Sasha before. So that was really brilliant today. TV commentaries are crap, and that's why we watch you and Egg Chasers. Well, thanks very much. I haven't done any commentary of games, but I'd like to give it a go. And we've got to try and get World Rugby on side to give us access to these broadcasts. Strangest game I've seen, says JD. Ain't complaining though. Fantastic second half for the Boks. Yeah, absolutely, it was. It was just a bizarre game, and I'll probably say that a lot of times throughout the live feed today. Diana, welcome from Perth in Western Australia. I was close to switching off at midnight in Perth, but glad I stayed up. Yeah, it was worth a watch in the end, wasn't it? I had to go away at halftime and kind of go like this a little bit because I didn't know what was going on. Both teams were playing like Australia and New Zealand in that first half, not very well. And then they turned it on. Tosca, Leca Boca, Lima, Peru. Welcome, my friend, from Lima. How's life in Lima today? Some big rugby going on down in that part of the world today. Francisco, welcome to the chat. Man, congratulations, Boks. Painful loss for us, but man, this has to be motivated to be better. We need to expand our country-based player. Boks are huge in the 23 selection. Yeah, not only in the 23 selection, Francisco, we're seeing the depth of the Boks really come through, and we've seen in the last 2 games now the impact off the bench in the second half. Wasn't my friend RG Schneemann absolutely brilliant again today when he came on? Did you see that offload pass around the back? Oh, that's RG. He's one of my heroes. Alex, welcome to the chat. Thank you for your comment. You said Sasha showed today why he is getting compared to Dan Carter. Not doing that yet myself, but he plays like every game. What's to stop him from emulating Dan Carter? Yeah, fair enough in terms of a comparison, but let's have Sasha be Sasha, right? Dan's from another era. Sasha's going to be himself, and he's already making a mark on the game, and that's fantastic for him, for rugby in South Africa and rugby around the world. So let's talk about what Sasha can bring as his legacy now, and not comparing him too much to other players. Ashley says Pollard to start next week. Russie will do Russie things, yeah, probably. But at this stage, I think he could play probably Quagga Smith at number 10 next week and do all right as well. Titanium, welcome to the chat. Thank you for your comment. Super entertaining. There was chaos, brilliance, and so much more. Fineberg commanded that game. Just too many highlights to mention. Go Bokkers, bonus point, baby. Yeah. Well, I'll try and do some. What have we got? Sasha scored 3 tries, scored 37 points. That's more than Percy Montgomery, who had the previous record of points in a game for the Springboks. He had 189 running meters, Sasha. Unheard of. Most guys in the games can't kick that much in terms of meters. And Peter Steph-Toy scored 2 tries today. And I love it when we see Peter Steph-Toy out there on the outside channel, sitting on the sideline waiting for a try. He got a couple of good ones today. Valentino's back in the chat. Hello, everyone. How much did I miss since you started, Mark? Oh, you missed the whole game, Valentino. You have to catch up, mate. We've only been going for 16 minutes. Titanium reckons Reineck was fine. Okay, Reineck was fine today. Anybody else think Reineck was fine, good, bad, or otherwise? Let me know. I'm going to get through as many of these comments as I can. Respect everybody that's here. DGB, another big second half Bok display. Sasha had Midas touch today. Yeah, he did. And these games come and go, don't they? These games where everything just turns to gold. And Sasha had his today, but something tells me he's going to have more of these types of games. And what a brilliant performance by Manny Lebok as well when he came on. What a brilliant try that was. Again, reading the game really well. And I think that's what South Africa did well in that second half. They read the game very well. Malcolm Marks was side entry. Fair enough for that. Glad he got pulled up on that one. That was not good. Porter, Irish box boogie team. Pity not playing each other in the autumn series. I don't think the Boks have any bogey teams at the moment, my friend. I think the way they're playing, they're starting to prove that. So I would like to see Ireland play South Africa this year, though. Unfortunately, we're not going to see that. Nico, the bomb squad put even more pressure on the opponents more than the starting players. They did. I think that's one thing we're seeing in the last couple of games now from the Boks, the second half performance, the changes that come on. RG was brilliant again. Quagga again came in. The intensity goes up, right? And when you can put that intensity, and this is what's setting South Africa apart. So I'm putting South Africa over here, and I'm putting Australia, New Zealand, and Argentina over here. And there's a big gap between these teams, and the gaps are coming particularly in the second half. If you compare what the Boks are doing in the second half compared to the All Blacks and Argentina, and then you have Australia, who have been playing, comeback kings for a couple of weeks, but they've fallen away because of their players, I think, in terms of injuries. But, South Africa's way out in front. Transformation edge, they're playing France and Ireland. Oh, are they? I didn't think they were playing Ireland in the autumn series. They are playing Ireland. Okay, great. We're going to see it. We're going to see it. Porter, did you hear that? They're going to play Ireland this year. But Ireland didn't score 30 points against South Africa in South Africa. Argentina did. The All Blacks couldn't score 30 points against the Springboks in South Africa last year. Argentina did today. There you go. Always see a positive light in a loss. Alex says, Mark, in your years of watching this beautiful game, have you ever seen a ref ask a player if he wants advantage over? Not trying to slag off the ref, but I thought it was ridiculous. Yeah. Look, I think one of the things that happened in this game was Angus Gardner was trying to keep the game going as much as he possibly could, but there was so much going on in this game. He had the TMO in his ear every second with something going on. And there were some things like that we can pick up on if we're really desperate to do that about the ref. But that would have been a very hard game to manage today because there was so much going on. It was all over the place. Pal 777, Mark, see you next year with AB Tours here. I'd love to come to South Africa next year, my friends. Let's see what happens with that opportunity. Half court, been watching rugby for 30 years. This is the best box team ever, no question. Yeah, I've been watching rugby for a lot longer than that, and I think this is, it's getting up there with one of the best box teams for sure. Transformational edge. They're going to add Sasha Fineberg and Ngomazulu to the list of banned substances. That's a good one. I like that. I don't think it's going to happen, though. The guy's very, very good. I think South Africa are going to be even more incredible if Sasha's able to produce that kind of form on a regular basis, right? So let's see what happens now with Russie and his decisions. V says 2027 looking good for the box. Yes, it is looking good for the box. It's still 2 years away, though, my friend. A lot can happen in the rugby world in 2 years, as we've already seen, right? As we've seen. Are the All Blacks falling from grace? Hello, Barry Mason. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for your comment. Thanks, Mark, for your rugby feedback. It's great. Well, thank you, Barry, for being here. Wouldn't be able to do this without you guys and girls, so I'm glad you're here. Boy 10 Dio, welcome to the chat today. How good is Sasha Fineberg and Ngomazulu? Yes, he's absolutely brilliant on today's performance. He was fantastic. Sasha is world class, says Redline 478. Sam says if South Africa win the next World Cup, they will be the greatest team ever, in my opinion. Yes. Yep. Nico Els, biggest dummy ever sold by Sasha. Yeah, what a 360 that was. I don't know who I think it was Montoya that was trying to tackle him. And I think Montoya's still trying to find out where Sasha went. That was a great move. Malan Kuhn, please give me your take on Cheslin Colby's incident. Well, I saw it how the referee ended up seeing it. He tried to drop kick the ball to his player over by the goalpost. It went out into the field of play. Choco Barras took it for Argentina. He was outside the 5 meters of the player that kicked the ball, which is under the law permissible. And then he ran in to score the try. So it was a very clever piece of awareness from the Argentines, and probably something that Cheslin Colby will never do again in his rugby career. But that's how I saw it. It was a fair try. Under the rules of the law, it was a fair try. Half court. South Africa got the athletes now to play running rugby. Sasha Fineberg far superior to Pollard. Yeah, but let's not start throwing Andre Pollard under the bus. That guy's been instrumental for the Springboks over the years and still is. He brings a certain type of game, and I'm pretty sure that Russie is going to focus on naming the teams to play against certain teams that you're going to come up against in competitions, particularly the World Cup. And I think Andre Pollard still has a role to play in that. So, yeah, let's not throw Andre under the bus just yet, my friends. DGB, Colby brain fart lit fire under the box. Yes. I think it probably did as well. Hello, Craig Adams. Welcome to the chat, my friend. Mark, do you think the ref is coaching the ruck and offside too much? Not just this game, but in general, plenty side entries, loitering, all by teams this weekend. Craig, there's a lot of us on the chat that have been watching rugby for many, many decades. And what I'll say is that players on every team through every generation have done whatever they can that's close to the law, and they will continue to do that, and making sure that the referees stand in and pick it up if and when they see it. So I think we're going to see that for the future of rugby. And I think the refs are just trying to be better communicators. I think that's one of the things that we're seeing in games. You might agree or disagree with their decisions, but they're trying to communicate more effectively to both teams to let them know what they're looking at and what they're seeing. It takes a lot to do that. Hello, Wayne. Welcome to the chat. What did Colby do? I missed the match, unfortunately. Colby, he got the ball inside his own dead ball line. He did a drop kick to get the ball out to Sasha Fineberg and Ngomazulu to take the restart, but unfortunately it went into the field to play the drop kick. It was caught by Santiago Chocobaras from the Argentinian Los Pumas. He ran over about 2 meters and put the ball down and scored a try, which was legally permitted under those circumstances. And that's what we're talking about. Hope that clarifies it. Go and have a look at it on the replay. It was quite bizarre. I've never seen anything like it. A lot of people are saying that Cheslin Colby had a brain fart today. Yeah, he did, but he scored a brilliant try as well. Let's not forget that. Rapid Rudy. Ref scored 23 points for Pumas. Now, Rapid Rudy. Don't start that. Tim Lester. I still laugh thinking about that Cheslin drop kick. Even saw Sasha laughing. Yeah, it was... I think because the Springboks won the game in the fashion that they did, I think that will be a bit of a talking point in the changing rooms tonight for the Springboks. Cheslin will be copping a little bit of flack from his fellow players and coaches, I'm sure. If I know anything about rugby players, he won't live that one down for long. Philip Bretts, Mark, it was a circus, clowns and magicians. Yeah, it was. Yeah. By halftime, I was kind of thinking, well, who's going to pull something out of the hat next? Is it going to be the referee? And what about the Super Sport camera angles? Did anyone else pick up on that? It was bizarre, bizarre. At the end of the first half, it was like there was camera angles coming from everywhere on the field. And I was just, I don't know whether it was my glasses or what was going on. Did everybody else see that? It was just insane. Absolutely bizarre. It was all going on in that first half. Elmet, Ian, tell the chat attendees how badly you have lost. And Jeff Wilson, our New Zealand mate, your scores are dead wrong now, like the channel thumbs up and 1,000 Rand. You have lost, and Jeff Wilson, our New Zealand mate, your scores are dead wrong now, like the channel. Okay, I'm not sure what you're getting at there, my friend. Eric, hi, Mark. Me again. Please give a thumbs up to the Red Roses. Oh, you ruined it for me, Eric. I haven't watched the game yet. Okay, congratulations to the Red Roses. You obviously won the World Cup. And congratulations. Yeah, good for women's rugby, good for rugby in the UK. But Canada also have ignited the flame of women's rugby in Canada. And a fantastic performance getting to the final to play against England. And I hear the Black Ferns won the bronze medal against France today as well. Okay, back to this game. Boy, 10 Dio. Money is like a spicier Sasha Fineberg and Ngomazulu. Look, I like both of those guys because they both bring a little bit of different elements to the game as well as being a little bit similar as well. Look at Money's beautiful pass when he came on out to Colby. That was brilliant. And then as his thoughtfulness and reading the game and putting that kick ahead and regaining that and scoring a try, it was brilliant stuff from Mani Lebok. Just when you're riding that wave of confidence, I think that's something that's coming through from the Springboks now, and this is what's going to make them incredibly dangerous. Remembering back to the All Blacks in 2011 and 2015, once they started that momentum and they started building that confidence of winning, it becomes a big habit, particularly playing in this style of rugby. And I thought that's going to be something really, really exceptional now for the Springboks as they move forward because they've got the belief that they can play that style of game and they can execute it. And that's what I was waiting to see after Wellington. Was it a flash in the pan in Wellington or were they going to be able to back it up? And they really backed it up here today. I think it's time to cancel Tony Brown's visa for South Africa and get him back to New Zealand. That'll stir the pot a bit. Rapid Rudy, Mornay Vandenberg made a huge impact. Yeah, he did okay when he came on. Yep, he did. The Sir Zone, welcome to the chat. I thought I was the only one seeing the strange camera angles. Glad to hear it's not just me. No, I haven't seen anything like that at all. I don't know what they were doing. It looked like the camera guys all of a sudden were having too much to drink, too many clippers and Coke going on. Love Rugby 2, welcome to the chat. Angus Gardner, what a ref. You get a ref and a coach for free. Boy, does that guy talk. Yeah. Look, I think, in all fairness, Love Rugby too. I think this is a directive that's coming out of World Rugby is that they want the referees to be communicating as much as possible to the teams. And maybe they're going overboard, but they're doing it. Louis Creel, Angus chirps like a budgie. Okay, he does. Farid says Islands Prendergast won't even make our varsity team. Okay, let's remain humble. Huh? It's another lesson that's come out of this game. Sam, do the All Blacks have the right coach after watching this? Well, I don't think we have to watch this to ask the question whether the All Blacks have the right coach. But maybe we have the right coach who's not making the right decisions. That doesn't mean he's not a wrong coach, but lots to talk about. Watch my video that'll come out tomorrow about the All Blacks' performance and my verdict on the game. Got lots to say about Razor at the moment, even when we're winning. Farid, half court is all players, not only Indigenous. Okay, not getting that one, I'm sorry. Gerald, welcome to the chat. We got this Rugby Championship in the bag, guys. We just hammered Argentina by 37 points. It's ours to lose from here on in. Yes, good performance. Well done. Congratulations. Enjoy your victories while they're happening. Alfred Harris, welcome to the chat. Afternoon, Mark. Yes, it is afternoon. 1:45 here in Cancun in the afternoon on, what is it? What day is it? Saturday. Yes. Alfred Harris, the competition is done. Okay. Anxi, Sasha was class today. Yes, he was. Absolutely. Jasper, welcome to the chat. We have the talent, the coaches, the future. Time we bring them all together and blast the rugby world scene. We need to dominate every minute. There we go. There's a confident South African supporter. Well done, Jasper. Great game. Well played in the second half again. Just sort out that first half a bit more and it'll be super entertaining. But I've been telling you all since I've been making videos that it's extremely difficult to put together 80 minutes of rugby like that, right? Hello, Blank Media. Welcome to the chat. Your question is, who shall be starting next week? I'm assuming you're talking about the Springboks. Who knows with Russie? We might see Andre Pollard back in there. But I've got to talk about Damian Willemse again today. And this is one of the mistakes I thought the Los Pumas made today. Too much kicking to the South African back three. Willemse was brilliant under the high ball, as was Sasha. Ethan Hooker was good at the back as well. Kanan Moody was good. He got a couple of high balls at the back. And that was a bad strategy, I thought, from the Pumas. They should have stopped kicking the ball away. And it looked like they were playing the All Black strategy there for a while and just giving the South African back three all this beautiful ball to come running back with. And they did that and scored tries. So I think that's one of the areas that the Pumas made a mistake in today. Alex, Mark, were you happy with the All Blacks' performance? Do you reckon the ABs were not at their best, or was it a case of Australia showing once for all they are truly back? I thought the All Blacks and Australia both played poorly. The All Blacks had their moments in the first 20 minutes, but then the puff of wind stopped and they started looking very, very scratchy. Australia had their worst game, in my opinion, of the Rugby Championship so far this year. They've been decimated by a lot of their good players, and I thought that showed today. They missed Andrew Callaway, I thought. Tom Wright's always being missed. And without Rob Valentini or Will Skelton, I thought those are guys that really add some punch to the Wallabies. So I think it was a poor game from both New Zealand and Australia, particularly when you look at the way the Springboks are playing at the moment. There's a huge gap between those teams, huge gap. And we're seeing it on the scoreboard now, which reflects it. Jacques Franz, first half was weird. I wouldn't look too much into it. No, it was. It was weird. Stephen, welcome to the chat. I think you are enjoying when the Springboks play. I am. Yes, I am enjoying when the Springboks play rugby like that. I'm enjoying it when any rugby team plays like that. It's very entertaining to watch. That's the way rugby should be played, right? And we've been trying to tell you South Africans for decades that if you open up the game and start running, you can play like that with big forwards. And you're doing it. So well done. You're doing it. Claude, welcome to the chat. Half court, that is summer a cat comment. We are all Saffers. Okay, whatever, Claude. You bring what you want to bring, mate. I'll call it as I see it. DGB, don't think winger Carreras touched the ball all game. Yes, he did. He was he was doing a bit of work around the breakdowns, particularly at the end. I saw him do a couple of carries when Albinos was injured and taken off. But he didn't have the same impact, probably, DGB, what you mean. But it wasn't that type of game for the Argentines, was it? It wasn't like when they played Australia and they had those flowing backline moves, and that's because the Springboks' rush defence was too good and they were chopped down too early. Plus, the Pumas' kicking strategy was poor, I thought, in this game. Brian 12, welcome to the chat. Thank you for being here. Tony Brown, in or out? He's got to stay in. Come on. He's doing a good job. Obviously, him and Russie like working together as well. I think there's a strong relationship there. Charles A, 2001, don't you think the box rugby now too loose for knockout rugby? No, I don't think it is, Charles. And here's the reason why I say that is I think that the box have multiple game plans that they're able to execute. And that's why I'm saying let's not throw Andre Pollard under the bus yet, just because Sasha had a brilliant game in one game. I think when you're looking at a World Cup and Russie's building towards this, he's got players that can play different styles of games depending on the opposition. And we've seen in the last two games against the All Blacks and Argentines that the box have the ability now to play that Tony ball game and beat those teams. But when you're coming up against a France and an England and an Ireland, you need to play a different style of rugby, I think, to win those games. So I don't think it's too loose. I think it's going to be horses for courses. That's my opinion. Johan, welcome to the chat. Well done, Bogger, but not happy with Cobus Reinhardt performance. Terrible kicking and other errors could have cost Bocker dearly. Yep. Let's hope we see Grant Williams back. As you know, he's one of my favourites. Graham, welcome to the chat. Hi, Mark. Love your work. Your opinion of the final round permutations? Well, it's all about the Bockers to lose now, isn't it? I think the Wallabies will bounce back in Perth, but they're going to lose a couple of players. So I think the All Blacks might be a little bit on top there. But I think the London game for the Springboks is basically a home game with hundreds of thousands of Box fans living in the UK. So I think Twickenham will be green and gold next weekend. And as a result of that, I think the Box are going to be back-to-back rugby championship winners. There you go. There's my prediction. No Dirt Living. Thanks for a great channel, Mark. Thank you for being here, No Dirt Living. It wouldn't be without you guys and girls supporting me. Seth Shipman says, not particularly liking Cobus at number 9. I don't know what I missed with Cobus Reinhardt today. I know that he did a lot of knock-ons against the All Blacks. Was that something I was missing today? Let me know. What was it about Cobus's game that you didn't like? Porter, yes. French, different standard, absolutely awesome. And their league is where the money is. Yes, it is. It's the wealthiest rugby league, domestic league competition in the world, of course, the French league, making lots and lots of money. What did Vandenberg do to tick off the ref just before the end? He went in unnecessarily, Louis, against an Argentine player, pushed him in the chest. And it was right in front of Angus Gardner. That's why he was upset with him. Alfred Harris, welcome to the chat. You think Cobus played well. Okay, you've got a lot of people here saying that he didn't play well, so I'll let you guys sort that out in the chat. Jasper, thank you, Mark, for your insights. As always, thank you, Jasper. Appreciate it. Terry H, welcome to the chat. Hi, Mark. Can you shed some light on the line-out laws? I thought a contestable line-out had to be straight. Okay, let's talk about the line-out for a second. I'm getting very annoyed with the line-outs in these games. Tell me what you think of this. I think teams should be penalised if they go to a huddle before the line-out is formed. I think we need to stop doing that in rugby. It's destroying the line-out process. The referees need to keep the game going. If you haven't sorted out your line-out calls before a game starts, then you shouldn't be playing at this level. And I think there's too much time wasting and also too much confusion going into these lineouts. So I think this lineout situation needs to be hauled in by the referees. And as soon as they see a huddle going on, I think there should be probably 2 or 3 seconds given before a penalty is given to the opposition team. It's just a waste of time, this lineout stuff. The Argentine lineout was poor today. They lost a couple of really important lineouts when they were on attack. And Paulus and Molina were at fault there, so not good for the Argentines. That's an area they need to clean up on. What else have we got? Seth Shipman says Vandenberg just showed why he should be the reserve with Williams starting. Kobus is not him. Yes, I could work with that, Seth. I like that combination. Chris O'Sutherland, welcome to the chat. Never thought I'd see a better display of rugby than Wellington's second half, but this game made that look tame. Awesome display. Yeah, awesome display. But I tell you what, the Argentines, they didn't lay down today like the All Blacks did in that last period of that game, I thought. I thought Argentina, despite the injuries they had to Albanos and Garcia late in the game, they were still there fighting. And you've got to give it to the Pumas for that. They didn't go away. They didn't lie down. They were trying to the last minute. So kudos to everyone from Argentina for that. Hello, Tristan. Welcome to the chat from Belgium. Good afternoon, Mark. Sasha Fineberg and Gomazoom, Mani, really informed. Don't see space for Pollard. He's a good squad player still and can be a mentor. I don't think, as I've said today, I don't think Russie's going to throw Pollard under the bus yet. I think there's definitely games where Pollard's presence is required for the Springboks team, particularly in a World Cup situation. You've got to have the right team against the opposition on the right day. Jasper, respect to the Pumas. They gave it all. They did. Yep. You tell me a team that scored 30 points against the Springboks in South Africa in recent history. Well, Argentina did that today. My team didn't do that last year in 2 games. So well done for Argentina for scoring 30 points today. Seth, what do you think about the ref in the US, us and Aussie game? Yeah, every single game we see of rugby, there's things that we can talk about with the referee, right? There was things that were done for one team that weren't done for the other team. There was missed opportunities to pick players up for doing certain things, but I haven't seen a game of rugby where that doesn't happen. So I don't want to spend hours talking about it. Blank Media, welcome to the chat. Argentina survived the scrum battle better than I expected. They are tough. Yeah, they had their moments though, didn't they? I thought in the beginning it was ominous signs with the Springbok scrum in the first part of the game. They looked very, very strong. But then I think once the Los Pumas started to understand the technical angles they needed to go in, they got a lot better. I'm starting to like Vivas a little bit more in the scrums. He's starting to grow on me. Montoya is brilliant. What was he? I made a note of Montoya today. I've just got to say this because I like him a lot, and he's a good Argentine ambassador. Montoya played his 49th cap for the Argentines today. Sia Khaleesi. Sia was the captain for the 65th time for South Africa today. Out of his 90-plus caps, he's going to get 100, I'm sure. Hello, Sean. Welcome to the chat. 14 of the RG 30 points were soft points. Yeah, you could say that, but they happen in games, Sean. Just shows that you can't play 80 minutes of rugby, right? You can't turn it on for 80 minutes. Alex, Australia scored 38 against us. Yes, you're right, Alex. Thanks for picking up on that. Yeah, and they won the game too, Alex. Let's add that in there, right? But I hear you. I was thinking of the All Blacks, right? So the All Blacks haven't been able to put 30 points on South Africa in South Africa for a while. Well picked up, Alex. Thanks for keeping me on my toes. Claude, agree, the RGs are tough. Yes, they are. The Argentines are tough. Farid, Sasha is Sasha. He's no Carter. Exactly. Yeah, let's not try putting him like Carter, yeah? Just like Rafael Nadal was no Roger Federer, right? And Federer was no Novak Djokovic. Alfred Harris, he says, the whole Tony Ball relies on good forward performance. It does indeed. Oscar, be quiet. My dog's having a heart attack. Don't have a heart attack, Oscar, please. Okay, yes. Tony Ball relies on good forward performance. It does. And if you watch my preview show, who said that? Alfred, if you watch my preview show for this game, I talked about that particular point. I said if the Springboks are able to get some kind of domination in the forwards, then they're going to be able to play the Tony Ball game. And that's exactly what happened in this game, didn't it? It probably exceeded my expectations, though, in terms of the preview video. Porter, is Rico coming to Leinster or not? I wonder. Yes, I hope so. Let's start a campaign to get Rico Ioane to Leinster. Yes, please. Hello, Brett. Thanks for joining the chat. Great show, Mark. What's Dose the Log look after today's games? What does the log look like after today's game? South Africa at top, my friend. And Daylight is second. And I'm putting kind of Australia, New Zealand, and Argentina in a little group of their own over here. And then over this side, you've got the Springboks, right? So there we go. That's how it's looking at the moment. Jasper says, Peter was on another level. Boy, does he look good in the backline interplay. Yeah. Peter Steph Toy, I guess we're talking about. He's always good on the wing, isn't he? Like, why doesn't Russie start Peter Steph Toy on the wing for a game? That would be fantastic. Keep Tony Brown in South Africa. Yes, I'm sure. A lot of people would be thinking that as well, Louis. Bigro, welcome to the chat. That reminded me of the golden days of All Black domination. Yeah, I said that earlier in the chat. Exactly. I thought I was watching the 2011 All Black team running over teams today. That's what it reminded me of. So we've had our time in the sun. It's now South Africa's time to do exactly the same. Porter, who's RG? RG Schneemann. Wasn't he fantastic again today? That offload that guy has. I keep talking about it in my videos. I don't know if anybody ever listens to me on that, but he was brilliant. Round the back pass again today. Set up another try, RG. That's what you want from your impact players. I hope the New Zealanders are watching this. Hello, Claude. Welcome to the chat. I think I've already said that. New Zealand should allow their overseas players. We were also scared of it, but in the end, it benefited us. Yeah, okay. We got enough players in New Zealand. They're just not getting an opportunity to play because Razor's not picking them. We've got really good rugby players in New Zealand, but you South Africans are not seeing them because we don't put them in our team. That's what we're upset about, some of us. Tim Lester, welcome to the chat. The post-contact offloads from the Springboks remind me a lot of the French system. Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a great matchup, that game today, this year, between the Springboks and the French. That's got me really, really excited. That's one of the games at the end of the year I think is going to be worthwhile watching. But you're right, Tim. Absolutely. Post-contact offloads are similar. And now that both of those teams have got the firepower in the back line that can do the sort of things that we're seeing, that could be a very mouth-watering exercise. JP, upset about what, sir? I think you're alluding to when I was talking about the All Blacks not picking the good players that we have in New Zealand that we're not seeing enough of in the team. That's what I'm upset about. Alex is asking me, somebody just asked it, do you think Razor is the right man for the job? Seems like that Super Rugby experience isn't translating well into the test arena. I think Razor's got some challenges. I think it's still too early to say if he's the right man for the job. Let's see what happens by the end of 2025, and then I'll give you my definitive answer to that, Alex. But I want to see what happens on the Northern Tour, and I want to see what happens in Perth next weekend. Let's play it game by game at the moment for Razor. Not a lot of confidence based on what I'm seeing at the moment. That win today was very sketchy on a number of levels. Jasper says, New Zealand has got plenty of good players. The coach don't rotate them like Russie. Yes, that's true. We do have a lot of good rugby players. King of Kingscock. That's an interesting handle. King of Kingscock. The New Zealand Sky Sports rugby TV pundits are going to be salty about the Springboks. Well, I tell you what, I'm a Kiwi, as you all know, and I hope they're not, because you've got to appreciate brilliant rugby when you see it played, as I do on my channel, right? And as I always say, it's rugby's the winner, the game first, and then the team, if they're able to play like that on the day, and that's what South Africa did. So I think it's a brilliant performance by the Springboks, and I hope that my fellow countrymen, no matter what media outlets they represent are going to acknowledge that as well. And if they don't, I want Victor Matefield to get up them and give them a hard time. Porter, France will beat the Boks by 10 points in the autumn. There you go. That's throwing down a gauntlet to everybody. Porter, I think you should put your hard hat on, mate, because I think there's some friendly fire coming after you. Clayton Nelson, welcome to the chat. Thank you for your comment, which says Hooker is good, solid player, but not a standout in such a whirlwind of a game. I think he did better in Wellington. Yeah, it's just the run of the mill, I think, Clayton, in some of these games. He's a bit like Caleb Clark, I think, when he gets into a position where he's got good set-up ball and the backline's done a good run. I think when it's a little bit more chaotic and spontaneous like it was today, that's when you see the likes of Sasha and Damien Willemse and Colby play a little bit more to their style. That's what I would say around that one, Clayton. But it's a good comment. Johan Grove says, good people are hard to find. You're it, Mark. Thank you, sir. Claude, a head coach, most important job is not coaching. It's really to be a great selector, and it's also changes depend on the opposition. Yep, I can agree with some of that. So the question is, it's not whether Razor's a good coach, it's whether he's picking the right players to play the game that he wants to play in. That's maybe the question mark we're seeing from around the All Blacks at the moment. Sports Unfiltered, Mark, when can we expect to see Josh Jacob in the All Blacks? He's unbelievable in the NPC right now. He is. Sports Unfiltered, I watched the Taranaki game against Wellington, and again, Josh Jacob was a standout in that game. He's really managing that Taranaki team around the field. And what I like about Josh Jacob is he's able to read the game exceptionally well and pull the trigger on some of the moves that the teams need to play. And I think he would be a really good asset in that All Blacks greatest squad. I hope that he's going to be brought in. Maybe he could be brought in for the end of year tour and just get some exposure. That would be a good step for him, and then see what happens next year. That's my thoughts. Sports Unfiltered. Daniel Kruger, New Zealand pundits, the best, biggest fan. Machi. Okay, thank you. See you just now in South Africa. Heinrich, welcome to the chat. Love your channel. Keep it up. I will do my best, sir. Thank you for your support. Tim Lester, I'm okay with France taking a game off us. The Boks have shown they can grow from the losses they faced in 2025. They will always play for the win, though. Yeah, look, I think this is a good way of looking at it, Tim. And I think one of the things the All Blacks of 2011 and 2015 needed was probably some more losses, because they became a little bit self-centered and arrogant in the way that they approached a lot of their games. Don't get me wrong, they were brilliant rugby teams. But I think a loss every now and again really injects a still of opportunity to grow and to learn new things. And complacency can be a little bit of a two-edged sword when you're winning all the time. So that's one thing South Africa may want to keep an eye on as they keep going. King of Kings, Koch, you're back again. Matt Williams will lose his blah, blah. Probably will. I'm not sure I'll be listening to too much about what Matt Williams is saying, but he's got his opinion. We should respect it. Hello, Daniel. Welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. I think Sasha has potential to be consistently better than Dan Carter in open play, and not far from him in terms of place kicking. Is outrageously talented. Daniel, I've already said it in the chat today. I don't think we should be comparing Sasha with anybody. Sasha's going to create his own journey in the game, which we should all appreciate, respect. And yeah, I understand what we're talking about. We're just making comparisons for the sake of it. But let Sasha be Sasha, because I think he's got the potential to be, one of the best in the game and can excite a lot of young players around the world to get involved in our great game, just like Dan Carter did. So if he's able to do that, then that's great for rugby, and that's what we want to see. Jasper reckons New Zealand and South Africa in the finals of the Rugby World Cup. Calling it now. You heard it here first. Well, I'll tell you what, Jasper, if New Zealand are going to make it to the final of the Rugby World Cup in Australia in 2027, they're going to need to improve a lot a lot on their performances at the moment. Adrian, welcome to the chat. Sasha reminds me of young Cristiano Ronaldo. Don't mistake confidence for arrogance, like how he celebrated with Moody when Moody made that good defensive read. Yep. Yeah, good point. Yeah, sometimes we're too quick, aren't we, to mistake confidence for arrogance in people, not only in sports people, but in general. It's a nice comment, Adrian. Thank you for making that. Cornelius, welcome to the chat. We need New Zealand also to play in the URC. Yeah, New Zealand needs some practice in playing rugby, so why not? Mark Williams, welcome to the chat. I must admit W. Okay. Do you want to elaborate, Mark, and let us know what you're thinking? Sports Unfiltered, I hope you were right about Jakob. He gives me Dan Carter, Nick Evans feels fast, reads the game, and outrageously skilled hidden gem. Yes. Well, maybe it's time to send a message to Razor about Josh Jacob, whoever's listening. Alex says, Mark, you could argue the record loss to England at Twickenham in 2012 was a catalyst in helping the ABs go unbeaten in 2013. That AB team didn't lose much, but they certainly learned from their losses. Yes, I don't care what team you are in sport, whether it be a team sport or an individual sport, a loss is a damn good thing for you, a damn good thing. Look at what it did to the Springboks after losing that Eden Park game, right? And look what it did to New Zealand against Argentina in Argentina. So, yeah, I think that a loss is good for a team. HB&A Capital Projects. Mark, thank you once again for your tremendously positive, fair and sensible contribution to international rugby scene, sir. Best wishes from South Africa. Thank you. It's nice of you to say that, and I'm glad you're enjoying the content on my channel. And if it wasn't for all of you guys and girls, I wouldn't be here. Well, I would actually, because I'd still keep doing this because I love rugby. But it makes it even more better when you're all here. So thanks for turning up. Baboon Talks. I love that handle and the photo. That's brilliant. Man, that was magic. Yes, it was. It was magic. It was a little bit like a circus at times. It was so magical, especially in that first half. Hey, if anybody's on the chat and you know somebody that works at Supersport in South Africa, can you please ask them about the cameramen in that game? Were they a little bit drunk at the end of the first half? I want to know. Someone's got some inside gossip on that. Claude says, what I have seen Russie do after great performances, he makes at least 10 changes. That gives new energy to the guys to prove they belong, also prevent overconfidence. Have you seen it as well? Well, Claude, I'll say to that, I've seen Russie do a lot of changes in terms of growing his team in different ways, and I think that's a brilliant thing that our coach, Razor Robertson, could learn from Russie. But I think it's a good thing, but I think as we get closer to the Rugby World Cup, we're going to see that 23 players that Russie's going to really depend on and who are all going to have the experience necessary to walk them through that tournament. But yes, I do see that, and I agree with it. Daniel Kruger, thank you for your comment. No comparison. Dan Carter inspired boys like Sasha. So will Sasha inspire? Yes, that's the way we should look at it. Absolutely. JNA, nothing to do for the Pumas, Mark. Sasha played what cannot be played, and Russie picked up that whole left back when Malia joined the other backs. Yep. Yes, there's not much any team could do. Jasper, the cameraman, was on another level too. I haven't seen that in a rugby game before, when the camera starts going woo, and we start seeing angles from all over the place. Okay, enough about the camera. I won't talk on. Sports Unfiltered. Thoughts on? Oh, there it goes. Rumour has it Ruben Love is out of favour as he challenged the coach Holland, so he is out of the team. Other intel I heard is Wayne Smith said All Blacks coach's boxes worst he has ever seen. I have some insider. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do this week, Sports Unfiltered. I've got a friend of mine who knows Wayne Smith very, very well. So I'll see if I can get some dirt on that. But for now, it's all rumours, right? Let's see what's going on. There's something not right in that All Black camp, that's for sure. Hello, Hugh John. Welcome to the chat. Etzebeth try should have stood. No, it shouldn't have. In my opinion, shouldn't have. It was called up for the right reasons. Marmosa Bus. I'll say it again. Mark Robertson was not good for the New Zealand game. Biggest mistake was losing Safas at Super Rugby. American backers, damn, he was no good. Mark Robinson, the CEO of New Zealand Rugby, who's going to be departing the scene in December. There's been a lot of people that have been unhappy with his performances in that role, leading New Zealand Rugby. Share your thoughts. We're talking about South Africa today. To Charlotte. How's it, Mark? Been a subscriber since the Twickenham game just before the 2023 Rugby World Cup. I'm so looking forward to what Matt Williams has to say. Douglas from Joburg. Douglas, why did you bring up that Twickenham game again? I'm glad that you've been a subscriber since that game, but why that game? Why do you have to mention it? No, all seriousness, great to have you here. Thanks for joining in the chat. And congratulations, Douglas. Brilliant game today, my friend. Alex, Mark, in my opinion, Scott Barrett is not a good captain and the captain should be Ardie. What do you think? Well, I asked the question in the earlier chat today after the All Black game whether or not Scott Barrett was missed by the All Blacks today, whether he was missed from being captain or whether he was missed from being his playing talents, and nobody really gave me an answer definitive to say that he should have been there on either account. My feeling is that Ardie's a good captain, but also I'd like to see Cody Taylor get a chance at captain. I think he's a great leader. He's very well respected in the All Black locker room, and I think he's got a lot of passion that hasn't been tapped by the All Black coaches. So that's another consideration to throw out there, in my opinion. Claude, I don't think the ABs are that bad. The rest have just caught up. Well, I do think the ABs are that bad, and it's not a case of the others catching up. I think the ABs haven't done anything to stay ahead, right? And this is one of the things we talked about, Claude, when I was talking about the complacency when you keep winning all the time. I believe when you keep winning all the time, you have to be mindful of continuous improvement, even though you're winning. And that's what Russie's very good at. Even though he wins games like today, he's going to go away and he's going to look at the combinations again to play against other teams that are coming up in the autumn series. And he's going to make sure that those players are in the fold. So I think you cannot take your foot off the pedal at all in these games. And the All Blacks are getting left behind when it comes to innovation and creativity in the game of rugby, in my opinion. Eugene, welcome again. Interesting stats. Territory, South Africa 43%, Argentina 57%. Yes, but what did they do with it? Is that a real stat? South Africa 43% territory? They were camped in this Argentines half in the second half. Eugene, can you double check that to let us know that it's true? Because I'm not too sure about that. Jasper, send Jacques Nienaber over to Razor. He still have the robot lights. Yes. No, we don't need Jacques Nienaber. We need a coach that's going to select the right players. Porter, I'm very nervous playing New Zealand and Chicago this autumn. You don't need to be. As an Irishman, I would be very happy to play the All Blacks in Chicago in the autumn. Got a fantastic chance of rolling them there. Absolutely. Mark Williams, great game, All Blacks versus Wallabies. I think there's so much talent in rugby. The ABs kept the pressure and all the efforts were well deserved. It's yards from where the T. Okay. So you thought it was a good game. Okay. We must have been watching different games at times. Sports Unfiltered, you've got the gossip. You should open a channel called TMZ in New Zealand, mate. Other insider knowledge. I heard, Mark, only 6 players showed up to Cody Taylor's 100th game after the match. And there's a divide between the Crusaders players and non-Crusaders players. Gosh, it sounds like anarchy in the All Blacks. Mutiny coming. Well, it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it, really, for what we're seeing on the field. You can tell that the South Africans are united as a team. You can tell the Wallabies are united as a team. You can tell the Los Pumas are united as a team, but you don't see that same spirit in the All Blacks, do you? And that's the big difference in this rugby championship. Hello, Adrian. Welcome to the chat. What do you think Rassie will do with Bongi, Kriel, and Vili? Well, I think we're seeing Vili transition into a mentor for their backs in the South African team. And we might see the same from Kriel and Bongi at different stages. But I think what we're seeing from Rassie is a slow transition of those older generation players, finding ways for them to come in like Dwayne Van Moolen has. And I expect that to continue. That's part of the transition, isn't it, in any rugby team? So I think Rassie's doing the same thing with those guys. Adrian, that's my answer. Daniel, Tony Brown's making magic. He is, yes, along with all the other coaches involved. Alex has got a view on the referee in the All Blacks game. Thanks for making that, Alex. I think a lot of people agree with you. Tristan, yep, the mentor position for Andre. I think Andre's still going to be there. He's needed. The AI underdog pick. What was your overall review of the Box versus Pumas, Mark? Just caught it last 10 minutes. The AI underdog pick. It was the most bizarre game of international test rugby, men's test rugby, I have seen in 60 years. In the first half. And then in the second half, it was Wellington 2.0, if that makes sense. So, yeah, go and watch the full replay. You'll see what I mean. And don't drink too much before you watch the game because the camera angles are a bit weird at times. Mark Williams, I believe Rassie has taken 28 to 2015 to get this far. Give Scott a chance. Yep, give Scott a chance. I'm giving Scott until the end of the year. Yeah, it's getting too close to the World Cup, Mark. We can't wait around too long. Put Wayne Smith in there and all the problems will be gone, or get Joe Schmidt onto a contract, get him back living home in New Zealand where he wants to be with his family. He doesn't want to be living in Australia. So offer Joe Schmidt whatever he wants to go back to New Zealand. That's what I'd be doing. Sports Unfiltered, the first half felt like an entire game. It did, didn't it? I got to half time in that game. I thought, that was it. 80 minutes, we're up. So much had happened. Actually, look, these are my notes from the game. I've got more pages from this game than I've ever done in any game before. It was just insane. Insane. AI underdog pick. 7:20 a.m. here, mate. I think I'll sleep first. Oh, come on. You don't need sleep if you're a real rugby fan. Work around the clock. Lots of rugby to watch this weekend. NPC games, URC games, Women's Rugby World Cup, Rugby Championship. Gosh, no time for sleep. As my wife smiles at me from the distance. Tristan's comment, Rassie won a World Cup in his second year. Scott recorded a record loss. There's levels to the game. Yes, there are levels to the game. And that's why I'm saying that I'd like to give Razor until the end of the year before I make a real, true assessment on where he's at. And I want to see if Sports Unfiltered's gossip comes true, because there's some exclusive stuff there that I might be able to share on my channel. Hey, Sports Unfiltered, let me know if I can use that stuff on my channel. I'll make a very compelling video about it this week. King of Kingscock, you look like David Beckham's father. I'm not kidding. Do I really? I've got no tattoos. Does that count me out for David Beckham's father? I'm not bald yet. Is that another thing that counts me out? My wife is laughing at you, King of Cocks. King of Kings, Cock. My wife is laughing at you. David Beckham's father. Okay, I haven't even seen a photo of David Beckham's father. Hey, can you Google a photo of David Beckham's father? Mark Williams, good point. Okay, I'm not sure what the good point was for. Daniel, looking from a farm, New Zealand sharing their secrets with their coaching. Okay, looking from afar, New Zealand sharing their secrets with their coaching. Okay. Claude, possession, South Africa 60, Argentina 40. Yes, it was dominant, wasn't in that second half. And the scrum was working well. The line-out was working well. The Argentine line-out was horrendous in the first half. But then they got it together with their shortened line-outs. They started to get a little bit of ball. I told you Eben Etzebeth was going to have a good game today. I told you all that. I told you he's been playing well. Can't wait to watch the breakdown on Sky Sports New Zealand. Yep, okay. Don't forget to come back here and watch my channel sometimes, please. Sports Unfiltered. Yes, of course. Use my insider knowledge. Anything to help the channel. We both know New Zealand's a small place and rumours are normally true. Yeah, they are. Exactly. Okay, we'll see what I can put together. I'll speak to my friend who knows Wayne Smith first and see if I can dig up anything there. I've got to be careful, though. I might start sounding like John Kerwin. Sir JK. Daniel Kruger, love to your wife. Thank you, sir. She loves you all. She's sitting here listening. My wife's a big supporter of South Africa, you know that? She wants us to go to South Africa and go shopping. No. She wants to watch rugby in South Africa. Mark Williams, what was your thoughts on the try driven after Cheslin dotted down? I thought exactly what I saw on that one, Mark. Cheslin did a dropout. He was trying to pass it to Sasha under the goalpost, but Choco Barras got it and scored a try. Fair try, no problem. Okay, I'm just having a look at... okay, this is David Beckham's father. Okay, do you think I look like David Beckham's father or not?
With the beard, yes.
With a beard, yes? Yeah?
Yes, with the beard.
Okay, I don't know whether you can see that. Do I look like David Beckham's face? No, oh, okay. Oh, God. I mean, you can be the father of David Beckham with how much you look like him, and I've always watched your channel to just miss the live stream sometimes. Okay, I'll grow a beard this week, and I'll see if I look like David Beckham's father. Okay, back to the rugby. Let's talk about rugby. Jasper, the only thing I can see is that the ABs are not the ABs at all at the moment, and we need them back ASAP. Yeah, there's something going on in the All Blacks camp. We don't know what it is. We're trying to find out. Jeff Wilson's going to be going on about how well the All Blacks played when they didn't. Yes. Alex, Mark, thank you for your content. I'm a Safa living in Thailand. It's 1:24 a.m. in the morning now, and I need to sleep. Have a great day, mate. Thanks, Alex. Enjoy Thailand, mate. Sadi krap. Enjoy. Have a good sleep. See you next time. Mark Williams, he doesn't have your smile. There you go. Oh, David Beckham's father doesn't smile like me. Fantastic. Yeah, that was Beckham. It was. Boy, Tendio. It was Beckham and his father. Yeah. Google when you get off the chat. Have a look. I don't look anything like him, I reckon. Jeremy Link. Well, this is turning into a show now. Jeremy, thanks for joining, Jeremy. Hi, guys. I think Russie should start Money at 10 now. Sasha at fullback, and Lebok was amazing as well, free-flowing and blah, 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 blah. Boot, yes. I tell you what, though, don't forget Fussy, right? So I'm starting to see that Damien Willemse is brilliant at 12. And I'd be having Fussy at fullback, and that would be causing chaos. So I wouldn't be putting Sasha at fullback. I'd be putting Fussy in there when he gets back and he's back in the fold. That's what I would be doing, because I thought what I saw from Willemse and Wellington at 12 was fantastic for the Boks. Damien Diolandi did well today, and he always plays a very standard sort of game. But if you've got Sasha at 10 and Damien Willemse at 12, that is super chaos for any defensive line. Yep, Fassie's out for the season. Yep. So I'm talking next year. Claude, if you haven't been to South Africa, you must come team up with Egg Chasers. He does these trips. You will love it, mate. Rugby crazy. That is us. Yes, I'm sure I'd love it. Hey, Claude, can I ask you a question? How do you know I haven't already been? I'm 60 years old. I've done a few things in my life. Where does the word Safa come from, being one? Good question. Who invented the word Safa? Hello, Jesse. Welcome to the chat. Greetings from Nairobi in Kenya, and thank you for the in-depth review. I always look forward to your videos. Exciting times for South Africa. I hope complacency doesn't creep in. Thank you, Jesse. Love to have you here. How's rugby in Kenya going, my friend? Tell us a bit more about it. I've been watching a couple of Kenyan Sevens games. They look exciting. Plenty of good athletes there. I hope they're not taking any performance-enhancing drugs. I'll just throw that out there. Boy Tendio, I think the All Blacks don't have the same talent pool as before. I'm sure it'll be back next generation. What we're seeing now, a bunch of well-coached players for the All Blacks and maybe 2 stars. Boy Tendio, the All Blacks have a very good talent pool of rugby players in New Zealand. They're not getting the opportunity. The pathway's apparently not there for them to show. That's the problem. In my opinion, that's what's happening. Daniel Kruger, South African. Mark Williams, I guess what I'm saying is I've always believed we had it in us to play running rugby. Yes, you should have too, Mark. And there's been some great running rugby players in South Africa over the years. It hasn't always been a 10-man game. Oos van Westhuizen was brilliant for number 9. He used to set backlines apart. Muspas, Mark's wife is a Safa. No, she's not. No, she's not. She's a Mexican. They all think you're South African now. They said you're a South African. Mark's wife is a Safa.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore. There you go. Got one on you there, guys. Rudy, welcome to the chat. Great game. It was. Crazy game, Rudy, wasn't it? Crazy first half. Brilliant second half. Sports Unfiltered says to Tristan Crystal, yes, exactly. They are now conditioned to run first few games. They were not. Yes, they are. There's no turning back for the Springboks team now. It's full gas. Full gas. Okay, what else are we thinking? Daniel, Zimbabwe nicked Namibia to the next World Cup. Namibia, according to Kiwi Lads, still a chance with other competition. Okay, so they could still get there. Are Zimbabwe going to be able to make it to the Rugby World Cup with their financial troubles going on? Has anybody got any insight into that? I want to see Zimbabwe at the Rugby World Cup in Australia, and let's hope that financial problems don't get in the way of that, because it'll be good for rugby. Sports Unfiltered. Yes, Mark. Everyone writing off New Zealand too early. We have an immense amount of talent per capita who are not being blooded in. That's exactly right. Who's taking over from Mark Robinson as the CEO of New Zealand Rugby? Sports Unfiltered, do you know? That's a question that needs to be answered. Well, I'd like to know. Boy Tendio, should we cancel the greatest rivalry tour? Why? Why? New Zealand needs to play against better teams. South Africa's a better team. Why would we cancel the tour? Tristan, Belgium and Namibia will face off in the repechage. Okay, so that's how it's going to happen. So Belgium and Namibia are going to get... Where's that game going to be played, Tristan? And when is it going to be played? Do you know? Let us know in the chat. Boy, Tendio, the Rugby Championship looks very promising as a comp right now. Yeah, but have you seen the Nations Championship plan for next year? Check it out. I did a video on it. Mark Williams says, Mark, I love the game today. We bled a few more young players, which takes the pressure off Russie. Yeah, it does. It does. And this is the whole thing I've been talking about with Razor Robertson. So Russie is prepared to put these younger guys in against a very good competition like Argentina. And you either run the risk of losing the game. It looked pretty close at halftime. But then you also run the opportunity of doing what happened in the second half. And that's what I want to see Razor doing, and he's not doing it. So put Ruben Love in, put Kyle Preston in, give these guys game time, put Lester Fainganuku in there, and let's see them. Sports Unfiltered, I'll find out the next week. CEO is for next week. Give me a week, huh? Okay, you've got a week. Report back in a week. I want to find out who the new CEO of New Zealand Rugby is going to be, because Mark Robinson's on the way out. Thank goodness. Tristan, UAE don't know when. Okay, it's going to be played in the UAE. That's a strange place to play that game. Why is it being played there? World Rugby again, yeah? After money, I guess. Daniel, South Africa are filtering all rough Africa's talent. Are they? Have you got proof of that, Daniel? I'm seeing good rugby across Africa. Kenya's good. Zimbabwe's getting better. Adrian, welcome to the chat. It's funny how World Rugby tried to protect the 9 to get quick, fast ball, but it seems like 9s nowadays are more under pressure. Yeah, it's ironic, isn't it, Adrian? These guys are being babysat by referees. And yet we saw, unfortunately, Gonzalo Garcia go off on a stretcher today after being pummeled. We've seen a lot of injuries at halfback from the Australians, from the New Zealanders, and yet they're the most protected species we have in our game. It is ironic. I agree. Yusuf Peterson, welcome to the chat. Hi, Mark. Was this game good for rugby overall? It's so bizarre decisions from the referee. Yeah, I think it was good for rugby overall. I think it was entertaining in the second half. It was bizarre. We're all going to be talking about it for a long time. So if we're talking about it for a long time, then it was good for rugby. So, yeah, I didn't know what I was watching at halftime, but after that. King of Kingscock, you're back. You should look at the young talents in South African rugby. It will surprise you. Some of those boys look like grown men. I'm only 6'3" at the age of 22, but those boys are 6'4" at 15. Kings of Kingscock. I'm going to call you the 3Ks, mate. It's easier for me to say. I've watched a lot of young South African boys rugby, particularly the younger schoolboys competition, and I've seen some absolute giants. Yes, they're huge. We've got a few in New Zealand, though. South Africa is putting good things in the water over there, so is the Kiwis. McNulty gamed. Welcome to the chat. In fairness, Gonzalo was pummeled by his own teammate. Yes, he was. Yeah, it was unfortunate in that situation. But I guess my point was that the number 9s are ending up being injured in a lot of these games, right? The All Blacks have been decimated this year. Australia's been decimated this year with halfback injuries. Don't like seeing any player get injured. It's not good. Daniel Kruger, no proof, a feeling. Africa comes here. Hope we send them back. Okay. It's okay to have feelings. Andre Jacobs, welcome to the chat. Sasha Fineberg is Nas Bolter to the power of 3. Dan Carter is not even close. Ooh, that was a bit hurtful. Andre? Sasha's a different player than Nas Bolter, no? From what I remember. Even power of 3, probably power of 10. Nas Bolter was a great player for the Springboks. I said it in a previous chat last week, I think, that when I was a little boy, we used to live, our house was backing onto a rugby field, And I used to go out there after school on many occasions and pretend to be Nas Bolter kicking for goal all the time. Young Kiwi kid at 10 years old, copying Nas Bolter. There you go. You South Africans had an impact on us. Sports Unfiltered, I feel like Razor doesn't blood in young guys well. He will play them in weird, unproven combinations or off the bench with little time to get rolling. Yeah, players have been played out of their positions, but also let's not forget the game plan that Razor's trying to play. What is it? How is it? Where is it? Where's the consistency around it? I'm not sure. When you see the Springboks now, you know exactly what their game plan is, and they're able to execute it. Sports Unfiltered, Sasha is promising, but we need to pump the brakes before making the Dan Carter comparison. One good game versus a whole career. Yes. Yep. But I'll say this, Sports Unfiltered, that when I watched Dan Carter have his breakout game, a lot of Kiwis were saying the same thing. A lot of Kiwis were saying the same thing. Yes, true about Nas Bolter saying that. Mark Williams, the hand-to-hand support rugby the players exhibited really reminds me of the All Blacks game some times ago. Yeah, it was. Very similar. Yep, the Springboks are playing fantastic All Black style rugby now. It's probably the way to do it. Seamus, welcome to the chat. Cape Town is a happy place tonight. Stormers and Boks blowing it off the park. Didn't the Stormers have a great win against Leinster? 35-0. No one picked that one. No one saw that coming, particularly Jacques Nienaber. So I'm sure Cape Town is a buzzing tonight. Good stuff. Congratulations, everybody. Dean Moller, welcome to the chat. Hi, Mark. Argentina are a very dangerous side, and today first half certainly showed that. However, second half blown away by the collective generational talent in the side currently. Next week will be closer. I don't think it will be closer next week, Dean. I think the South Africans are going to put on another 40 points against them next week. That's my prediction based on what I saw today, plus Argentina's injuries, which are mounting. Claude, SAFA originally referred to South Africans that immigrated to Australia, New Zealand, UK, originally meant offensively, but South Africans embraced it. And now we refer to ourselves as SAFAs. There you go. Well, thank you for that, Claude. I've never, ever seen that used by a Kiwi in an offensive manner. So I just want to make that clear that I've never, ever mentioned SAFA in an offensive manner, as I've never mentioned RG in an offensive manner against Argentinians, but I know they don't like that, so I'm not going to say that anymore. Average YouTube user, welcome to the chat. Haven't seen you before. I agree. Twickenham is a home game for the South Africans and looks like no injuries, so even more continuity in the style of play next week, hopefully. Yes, I think so as well. I think we've got a battered and bruised bunch for Argentina out of tonight's game. Albinos, unfortunately, looks like he's gone down again. That's a crying shame. I love that guy. Daniel Kruger, I will stop saying Aussie. I think it's a bit different with the Aussies. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. It's not offensive to Aussies. They don't mind. They're a tough breed. If only the Boks can play like that every game. A man can only dream. Well, this is a new thing for South Africans, but we used to see that in the All Blacks. And you might become used to it, my friend, after a while. Boy, Tendio, is anything offensive to an Aussie? I could tell you a few things, but I'll probably get banned by YouTube and demonetized, Boy Tendio, so I'm not allowed to say it. I'm not allowed to say it. Mark Williams, I must admit my first pick for fly half was Michael Liner. Okay, yeah, Michael Liner was a great player. Don't call an Aussie the B word. Yeah. The only thing that will impact Twickenham result is if Russie decides to play the same backline again or go back to an old guard, Andre Pollard backline. Going to be interesting. Have a think about that one overnight about what Russie might do. I'll talk about that in the video tomorrow. Barry Mason says, "Hi Mark, I think Tony Brown has made a big change to our attacking rugby for the better." No doubt about it, Barry. Yes, Tony Brown has had a big impact, and a lot of kudos has to be given to Russie, right? Bringing in Tony Brown and having the gumption to go with that style of play. That's not easy to do when you're trying to change a team around. So Russie needs to get a lot of plaudits for that as well, I think. All the Kiwis know how to get under the Australian skin. They are very sensitive. Yes. Yeah, they can be. They can be. I lived there for 20 years, so I can tell you a thing or two about Aussies. Daniel Kruger, I see there is another Pollard. Is there? Where do you see that, Daniel? Tell me. Mark Williams, interesting comment. I think Tony Ball is going to be hard to change. Yeah, I think so. Aussie. Okay, I'm going to go for another 15 minutes on the chat. So let me know what you're thinking. I hope I've got everybody's comments. Keep them coming. Next 15 minutes. I'll answer as many as I can. Other thoughts around? What do you think? Let's talk about next week. Are the All Blacks going to beat the Wallabies in Perth? And is the Springboks going to be able to back up again against the Argentines in London? Let's get a few thoughts going on that one. King of Kings, I need to see Grant Williams race with Will Jordan or Leroy Carter in the All Blacks game. Yes, that would be fascinating to see that. I think Leroy Carter's faster than Will Jordan. That's my gut feel on that one. And Grant Williams can probably take them both out. Jasper, one good thing is once you learn to master Tony Ball, you don't forget it. Yes. There's no going back. Once you've tried it, there's no going back. It's like having a beautiful Mexican wife. Once you've tried it, you're never going back. That'll put me in the good books for the rest of the day. There we go. I'm going to go and watch the Women's Rugby World Cup this afternoon because I haven't seen it. So don't ruin it with a score for me. Boy Tendio, is Razor brave enough for the job? Courage. He talks about courage and caring a lot. Does he have the courage? Boy Tendio, what I said earlier in the chat was I'm going to really hold off my true assessment of Razor until the end of the year. I want to see how he goes on the Northern Tour. Cuddles Robertson, yeah. I want to hold off on that because I want to see how he goes against the Northern Hemisphere teams after what I saw against France at the beginning of the year and after the end of the Rugby Championship, because that game against Australia next week is also going to tell us a lot of things. So going to hold my full comments back about Razor until the end of the year. Mark Williams, I went to the Stormers Leinster game. Firstly, I think we had a good young side. Where was Leinster, though? Yeah, they didn't turn up, did they? Yep. I bet you were shocked, Mark, with that game as it unfolded. Nobody was thinking that. Not many people, anyway. Adrian says, so the fact that Sia has been captain for all the games so far, I'm assuming that he will be captain for the Rugby World Cup in 27. I think captain for 27 should play now. Well, what do you think? I can't see Russie changing too much with Sia at the moment, particularly when the team's playing like this. Seems to be the right guy. You can have Scott Barrett if you want. Would you like Scott Barrett? Adrian. Daniel Kruger, just interesting. Surname Pollard in Australian team. Yes, there is a Pollard in the Australian team. He's the hooker. Billy Pollard. Played okay today. Claude, the Tony Ball style cost us the game against Australia. It's great when it works, but when it does not, you need to change ASAP, bring on Pollard and tighten up the game. Yes, good point, Claude. And that's what I'm saying. I think you need to have a style of play versus the opposition on the particular day. So exactly as you said. Exactly as you said. And if Pollard had come on in that second half, I think things would have been different, perhaps. Australia got on a roll, though, didn't they? Australia got on a roll. Who would have thought the Wallabies at altitude at Alice Park were going to do that to the Springboks in the second half? Not many people. The All Blacks win 6-3 to make the Springboks get the Rugby Championship. Okay. 6 tries to 3. Okay. What are the chances of the Wallabies beating the All Blacks next week? They may throw a cat, almost the Pigeons. Yeah. Well, I don't think they've got, I can't see it. The Wallabies are getting too many injuries. Tate McDermott's out now. Who else got buckled today? There's a couple other injuries. I just think the Wallabies' depth is costing them now. I hope they're able to regroup a little bit as they go on the Northern Tour because I want to see this Wallaby team fit and healthy because they've got so much more to give. Adrian, RG will do it for us. Yeah, fair enough. RG's brilliant. Love the guy. Played brilliant again today. One of my favourite Springbok players, the Viking. Let's get behind the Viking. He was brilliant. What are you guys all thinking, girls? Are the All Blacks going to get beaten by the Wallabies next week? Is Jeff Wilson going to say that? Is Justin Marshall going to say that? All these Kiwi pundits, are they going to get behind the All Blacks now and say this is a world-beating team after this performance against the Wallabies? Daniel Kruger says, what is up Joe's sleeve? Well, I think he's probably got a lot of bandages and painkillers at the moment, Daniel. Too many injuries. Too many injuries. Who's going to win between Canada or England? I think that's already been decided. Let's not say because I want to watch it. No, I was just trying my luck. Yeah, well, you never know. It's rugby. And as we've seen over the years, anything can happen. Look at that first half today. Doesn't matter how much rugby you've seen over the last decades, you've never seen anything like happened in the first half of that game today. Absolutely crazy stuff. Okay, come on. Come and say hello. Come on. Say hello. 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 Who's going to win? Is it going to be Australia or New Zealand next week, Oscar? Who's going to win? Australia or New Zealand? Australia or New Zealand? Say, tell all the people who's listening. Is it going to be Australia or New Zealand? You were born in Australia. This guy's Australian. He was born in Australia. When's your puppy? The Aussie team are not bad as people think. The coach is solid, but I think the AB will put it together. Okay? The All Blacks keep using dark magic to win at Eden Park. No, they don't. They've just been fortunate enough to beat the teams that they played there. Mark Williams, Wallabies came back. I just love their tenacity. Yeah, I thought they were gone and dusted after that first 20 minutes, but they came back, didn't they? Okay, you want to get down there? Yeah. Okay. See you. See you soon. Okay. Adrian, we will loan Mani Lebok and Faf out to Australia for the win. Yeah, they need a number 10. The Wallabies are struggling a bit, I think, with James O'Connor there at the moment. You can never write off the All Blacks, says Barry Mason. No, you can't. And you shouldn't. Shouldn't write off the All Blacks. They'll come back. Oscar. Getting too excited about rugby, my friend. Shh. Everybody's listening to you. Hey? Hey. Okay. Mark Williams, Artie is such a hero. Yep. He's a great ambassador for the game and for All Black Rugby, that's for sure. Claude, the Australian team are not as bad as people think. The coach is solid, but I think the ABs will put it together. Yeah. I think the Australians need to tidy up their defence, Claude. They've got a lot of defensive holes. They're letting in too many points early in games, which is getting them behind. Look at what Argentina did today, right? They really got back into that game by halftime and gave themselves a chance. The Wallabies are just leaking points. Porter, beautiful dog, and I don't like using the word dog. They are family. Yes, he is family. Absolutely is my little Oscar. He's my wingman. He's been up with me all night watching rugby. He's my little boy. And he is a beautiful dog. Thank you. Hey, Claude, cut it out. You know what Claude said? He said, he sounds like an Aussie. Waiting for the whinging to start. Didn't have to wait long. I like that. Byron Goldberg, welcome to the chat. The difference in what Russie does so well is give new players caps with experienced players. His transition of old guard feels seamless. Yes, Razor's not doing that. Joe Schmidt's doing that and has done it very well with this Australian team, and that's something I give him a lot of kudos for. He's tried over 49 players, has Joe Schmidt, in the last 18 months, and look at what he's got now. And let's face it, they've been decimated by injuries, but he's still been able to find some talent there to plug the gap at the moment. Nikki Babalas. Last time I saw such a dominant 10 performance was Dan Carter against the Lions in 05. Sasha was immense and needed a performance like that. Many have talked him up. This was his best response. Yes, I agree. Go and check Beauden Barrett's performance out in the World Cup final against Australia, my friend, for a good number 10 performance as well. That was another one. Mark Williams, Wallabies allowed All Blacks to play. You can't allow them anything. Yes, the Wallabies did. They did allow the All Blacks to play too much. So did the Argentines today with the Springboks. Poor kicking strategy. The last people you want to kick to is Damian Willemse, Sasha Fineberg and Ngomazulu and Cheslin Golby. You don't kick the ball to those guys all the time. The Pumas did that today. Jesse Seals, an AB's bonus point win next weekend would win it in case South Africa doesn't get a bonus win. Still very open. Wallabies will be a really tough team by World Cup. Hope South Africa will still have this momentum. Yeah, 2 years is a long way, Jesse, isn't it, in rugby? We've seen a lot of things happen in the last 2 years. Look what we were talking about this Wallabies team last year, and look at them now. So take nothing for granted if you're a Springbok fan. Rugby World Cup's 2 years away. But congratulations on the win. Mark Williams, appreciate Joe Schmidt. My question was, Eddie trying to do? Eddie Jones. Well, he's trying to make Japan a good rugby team. Yeah, it's day and night between what Eddie Jones was able to do. And I think what Joe Schmidt's bringing to this job in all seriousness is ability to be a people person. Joe Schmidt's a very good people person. He's got these guys believing in themselves, and he's got a lot of respect within this Aussie group. And I think that's really made the difference, in my opinion. Byron, it wouldn't win it. Points different comes into play. Daniel, love you. Thank for talking rugby and lekker slap. You're welcome. Thanks for being here, Daniel. I'll see you just now, mate, on the other side. All Black sacrifice players to keep the streak alive at Eden Park. How else do you explain such an impossible streak? It's dark magic, I tell you. Okay, my friend, it's dark magic, whatever you say. Okay, friends, I'm going to wind it up. It's been a lovely chat again. Thank you very much for being here. I like doing these chats. I hope you like doing them as well. it's time for me to get a little bit of sleep, watch some women's rugby, and then make you some videos and get into details on these 2 games this weekend. So please come back and watch those. Really, really excited for those productions that are coming up in the next couple of days. I'll talk to you all about what I thought in greater detail around these 2 teams that played today, and also the All Blacks game as well. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Chandra, thanks for being here. And enjoy your rugby, everyone. And remember, the referees are humans as well. They've got to go home to families and stuff, yeah? So let's not give them too much of a hard time. Leon, hi Mark, when will you get your review? Tomorrow, my friend, Sunday. Wake up on Sunday, get your coffee ready, a couple of croissants and bagels, and sit down and watch my video on the reviews. There you go, Leon. Expect it tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. See you all again soon on the other side. Or I'll see you just now, okay? See you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.